Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna play Halo 5 in 3, 2, 1. So, we meet again.
What is up, guys? It is JammerDude1 and the semi-onslaught of Halo content on my channel begins. Before I do get into this video, I just want to say, not long after I got the footage for this video, a massive update for Halo 5 was released, so I won't be covering any of the additions made in that update to the game in this video, so I apologise if you're expecting to see that at all. So, as I said in my previous update video, I am a really big fan of Halo, and I've played nearly all of the games in the series, or at least the main entries, and I was fairly excited to play Halo 5, although I did hear some negative things about the game, so I went in with moderate expectations and an open mind, and it was a bit of a disappointment. Now, this actually may counter a lot of things I said in the last video I made about Halo 5, in which I was really positive about the multiplayer, but that was a time where I didn't have much else to play in terms of like the multiplayer structure that it had. However, as I started to get a lot more games that were kind of doing it better, I started to like Halo 5 a lot less, to the point where I would actually get motion sickness just by playing it. And so, a few months ago, I uninstalled it. It was 92 gigabytes, taken off my Xbox One hard drive, with the intent of never playing it ever again. However, I've recently kind of had the itch to play it, and with all the big updates that have been made to it, I thought, well, let's see how it is. Therefore, I decided to install the game overnight, and I even captured live footage of me putting in the disc and starting the install. Alright, I'm doing it. I'm gonna reinstall Halo 5. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this. There's the dreaded disc. Right, let's just put it in. There it is. Halo 5 Guardians. A. I want to see how big this is as well. Okay, so let's manage game. 87 gigabytes it says up there, but I do remember it was like 92 gigabytes when I uninstalled it, so wait, a 45.7 gigabyte update. If that is on top of the 87 gigabytes, then all this is pretty much going to be got 177 left. Oh, now it's 132, you see? Oh my goodness. This is going to be interesting. Then, I woke up the next morning, I set up everything I needed to do for recording, and I got playing. To start, I decided to head straight into Arena, as this is where I used to spend most of my time in Halo 5. I'll talk about Warzone in a bit, and I will go as long as I can in my life without talking about the terrible campaign. My first impressions coming back were not off to a great start, as for some reason it was taking me quite a while to find a match in the Slayer playlist, which I would imagine is one of the most populated playlists, although it doesn't actually tell you how many people are playing. Things did turn around though, as I eventually managed to get into a game, and I was ready for an underwhelming experience. And to my surprise, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. The gameplay does feel a lot better and more responsive than I remember it being in the past, the weapons feel pretty good, and I was surprisingly not that bad despite a close kill to death count. Also, our team won, so things were getting off to a pretty good start, and I thought, well, let's see if we can get into another game. And that went nowhere. I then went over to Breakout, which is one of my favourite arena modes in the game, in which you have to capture a flag in the middle of the map and return it to the enemy base. But the catch is, you only have 1 life per round, and you have to win 5 rounds by either returning the flag or eliminating the enemy team. And to my surprise, when I eventually got into a Breakout match, it turns out that they had completely changed how it works, and this was really confusing. First of all, your starting weapon is now a shotgun, but more importantly, you now have to bring the flag to your base instead of the enemy's. Now, that may not seem too bad, but to me, it took away the risk and the intensity of the rounds. There were multiple cases where I would just go over to the flag, pick it up, casually stroll back with no enemies around me, and win as a round. Sure, it means that you get more victories, but like I said, there's less risk and intensity. And so to change things up a bit, I decided to leave the arena and go over to Halo 5's premier multiplayer mode, Warzone. Now, I remembered Warzone for being quite a lot of fun at the time, as it was very different to what people have come to expect from Halo. It's on a bigger scale, it adds NPCs into the mix, and it feels a lot more competitive. How it works is, you have 3 locations on a huge map that your team needs to capture, and each of these are guarded by AI characters. Once one team has captured all 3 points, the enemy team core opens up, and destroying it results in a victory. Another way to win is to reach 1,000 points by eliminating enemies and bosses and holding points for as long as possible. If I'm going to be honest, I don't really enjoy Warzone that much now, although I did like it for the first few weeks of having the game, but it just kinda got dull for me personally. I don't hate it, it's not that bad of a mode, but I just feel like, yeah, it's not why I play Halo, so, I feel like I've had my fair share of Warzone, but I'm done with it. I should also probably mention that there are other variants of Warzone, for example, Warzone Firefight, however, I haven't spent enough time to properly talk about those. So, that was my experience with Halo 5, coming back after many months. It's not that bad. I found it to be a pretty solid experience overall, and after playing it a bit more after recording, I can say that the matchmaking is actually pretty good. I must have just been unlucky when getting the footage. Looks like I won't regret installing Halo 5 again, like I feared after all. Oh, hello. What's this?